Hello everyone and welcome back to the Changeup. Today we've got ourselves a pretty big 2-for-1 signing here on the second real day of the winter meetings here. We've got Kyle Schwarber returning to the Phillies on a 5-year, $150 million contract. And we've also got Edwin Diaz going over to the Dodgers on a 3-year, $69 million contract. So again, this will be sort of an unscripted video here, just taking a look at both of these signings for both of these teams, what it might mean for them, going forward in free agency, and what the roster is going to look like after this. And we'll start out here with Kyle Schwarber going back to the Phillies. This was kind of something that I predicted in my free agency predictions a couple weeks back. I never really saw Kyle Schwarber leaving. I knew there was some rumors about the Pirates being involved. I know he's from Ohio, so they thought maybe the Reds might be involved in him. And apparently the Orioles made a pretty competitive offer there towards the end, but I never really doubted that he would leave the Phillies. It just seemed like somewhere he really enjoyed playing based off of some of the interviews that he gave towards the end of last season. And really, unless the Phillies were planning on making a really big trade or signing, he's a really big bat to lose for not all that much money for a franchise like the Phillies. Now, like I said, the contract is for 5 years, $150 million, and while that's a lot to give a guy who's 33 years old, I think last year's home run total, as well as his counting stats, really put into perspective how much of a deal this is for the Phillies. Now we can go here to his Baseball Savant page, and as you can see in the words of Playboy Cardi, that is a whole lot of red right here. Schwarber's one of the best hitters in baseball. Obviously he whiffs and Ks a lot, but that doesn't matter when he hits 56 home runs. And you can see here with the OPS he's actually just really getting better every year. It seems like he's aging like fine wine. I mean, he's 32 years old, going on 33 next season, and he put up one of the best years of his career last season. Going over here to the depth chart for the Phillies, you can see here it is pretty much the same team as last season, minus the pending free agents. But like I said earlier, this was just a move that had to be done. I mean, I just don't know how the Phillies would have let Kyle Schwarber go unless they were really planning something huge. And I know there's been rumblings about the Phillies not having the money to retain some of these guys, and while I think that might be true with guys like Ranger Suarez, Schwarber was just a guy that there was no way they were going to let walk. If you're a Phillies fan, though, this is great. I mean, this is your guy. This is a guy that's helped your team win year after year here. And he's a guy that clearly enjoyed playing in Philly, which is, I think, a big part of all this, is where does the guy enjoy playing? He made it really clear that he wanted to be back, and here he is. Now, of course, we all know with Schwarber, he's a top-of-the-order bat with insane raw power. He's going to give you 40-plus home runs at this point in his career pretty much every year. And these past couple of years, we've seen him get the average up a little bit. I mean, he's just hitting better. So this is a big relief for Phillies fans, I'm sure. You got your guy back. But this does kind of beg the question of what the Phillies are sort of planning on doing here. I don't think that this should be it for the Phillies. I mean, this is pretty much the same team that you ran with last year. And while it is a good team on paper, they have not really been able to get over the hump. And I don't know. If you're the Phillies front office, I don't know if this is something where you just go, okay, well, let's run it back. Because you've been running it back, and the results have not been there in terms of making/winning the World Series. And that's on top of guys like JT Realmuto and Ranger Suarez being free agents. I don't see Realmuto being that big of a loss either way. No offense to JT. He's a great catcher, but I mean, you know, he's getting a little up there in age at this point. But if you're the Phillies, you got to make a decision here. Do you just stick with the guys you got? I mean, like I said, you've got a good team on paper, but I don't know. You might need to make another move here to really drive the point home. What that move could be, I'm not sure. I could see it being Kyle Tucker. I mean, I predicted Kyle Tucker in my free agency videos. But if the reports are true and the Phillies are looking to cut back a little bit of payroll, then maybe a Harrison Bader reunion. I mean, Castellanos is going to be gone more than likely, so you're going to have to fill that spot. It'll be interesting to see what the Phillies do. On to Edwin Diaz, and the Dodgers land another big name. This time it's Diaz going to the Dodgers on a 3-year, $69 million contract. And this is a good move for the Dodgers. I mean, they struggled a lot with the back end of their bullpen throughout last year. And we saw that in the World Series. They literally pitched their starting pitchers every opportunity they could instead of turning to their bullpen. Tanner Scott was horrible last year. Kirby Yates was really bad last year. They had a lot of issues with the back end of their bullpen, so everybody knew that they would go after a closer. I had originally predicted Devin Williams going to the Dodgers because I thought the Mets would overpay for Diaz, but clearly the Dodgers valued Edwin Diaz, and so here we are. And that goes back to what I've said in a couple of videos here. I mean, the Dodgers tend to go after guys that they value very highly. They do have a ton of money, but they don't just throw money at anyone. They throw money at guys that they've done their research on and that they really, really want. And I guess Diaz was that guy for them. Now, Diaz, looking at his Fangraphs page here, was fantastic last season, putting up a 1.63 ERA, 2.28 FIP. striking out almost 40% of the batters he faces. The dude's one of the best relievers in baseball, simply put. That being said, next season is Edwin Diaz's 32-year-old season, and that's a lot of money to give a reliever. The Dodgers have the money, it doesn't really matter. But Diaz has had his seasons where he hasn't been as good, and we've seen a lot of these contracts fail over the years. The Devin Williams trade with the Yankees last season, the Tanner Scott deal last season. There's a number of different relievers you can point to, not really living up to their contract, but I don't know. The Dodgers seem to know what they're doing. Edwin Diaz is one of the best closers in baseball. I could see this deal being awesome for him. And looking at his baseball savant page, as you can see here, the advanced stats back up what we're seeing on paper. Diaz was awesome last season. K percentage at the top of the league. He does walk a decent amount of guys, but it doesn't really matter when you're striking out 40% of the batters you face. Great extension. I mean, he's one of the best relievers in baseball. And as we can see here, pulling up the Dodgers depth chart on Fangraphs, he's going to fit really nicely into that bullpen. He will immediately be their closer. Dodgers fans, you can breathe a sigh of relief. Tanner Scott will not be around to blow games anymore for you, at least not in the 9th inning. And looking at their bullpen, it's kind of interesting to say that this was a weak point for them. I mean, on paper, again, this bullpen does look good, but realistically, when you go down the line here, a lot of these guys had some middling seasons last year. I know Gratterall was hurt for a good amount of time. Anthony Bonda was okay. Blake Treinen really wasn't as effective as he has been in the past. Tanner Scott was terrible. So yeah, I mean, I think this is a great signing for the Dodgers, and this is a little bit embarrassing for the Mets, I gotta say. I mean, Edwin Diaz was kind of a fan favorite. He was a part of that big trade back in the day for Jared Kelenic. I know Jared Kelenic didn't end up being anything special, but that was a big deal at the time. Mets fans really liked Edwin Diaz. The whole trumpet thing a couple years ago, I mean, this was a guy that they really liked. And reports are they offered him a pretty similar amount of money, and he just chose the Dodgers, which is an interesting thing about this whole thing. I'm not sure if he just really wanted that extra couple million, or if maybe there's something we don't know about how he felt about the Mets. Who knows, but that's not the best look for the Mets. And again, for the Dodgers, this is just another win in a long line of wins for you guys. I expect Edwin Diaz to be great next season. I see no reason why he wouldn't be. His advanced metrics are all great. The stats on paper look great. He's one of the best relief pitchers in baseball. So if you're a Dodgers fan, this is another huge win, like I said. Talking about free agents for the Dodgers, I would be surprised if they were to sign Kyle Tucker at this point. Again, this is something I've been saying all offseason. I just really don't think Kyle Tucker fits the Dodgers. I know they have an open spot at right field, but a lot of their top prospects are outfielders. And I mean, at some point, you can't just sign every person to a long-term deal on a team. You need to have some room for youth. I don't know. I mean, it's the Dodgers. They could go out and sign Kyle Tucker. They could go out and sign another guy. It wouldn't surprise me at all. But at the same time, I do think this might be an indication that the Dodgers aren't thinking of going for Tucker right now. I don't know if you offer Edwin Diaz a reliever $70 million, if you're planning on handing out another $400 million plus contract. Again, it's the Dodgers, who knows, but it would surprise me. And that's all I got for you guys today. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please make sure to like and subscribe. I do videos just like this all the time. I'm planning on doing a lot of unscripted reaction videos like this around the off season. I also do a lot of scripted content as well. So thank you so much for tuning in. And as always, I will see you in the next video.